Welcome, everyone, to our season preview today, where we are talking Capital men's and women's golf with head coach Garcia ahead of the 2020-21 season. Thank you for joining me today, Coach.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate you having me.
So to this point, everyone has been affected by the pandemic, but the sport of golf largely thrived in the world of social distancing due to the nature of the sport. You weren't able to play out your fall season, but I would imagine your players, and probably you, were still able to get out on the course and practice in that time.
Yeah, it was really upsetting that, we didn't have the opportunity to compete after last season got cut short with the pandemic. So for us, we just used it to the best of our ability. And it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, especially for our women's program. We have three new faces that are going to be in the lineup this spring, pardon me. So for us, it was, you usually come to college and you're getting your feet wet within the first week you're playing in a tournament. It was nice for me to be able to really coach and mentor the young freshmen and really bring them along slowly. It's like I said, it's a little bit of a learning curve. I think you could talk to seniors like Molly Frey and sophomores like, Reagan Johnson, where, they didn't have that learning curve. They stepped in, they moved into their dorms, and then boom, guess what? The next weekend you're on the road playing in a college tournament. And that could be a little bit intimidating. So it was nice to, especially for the women's program, it was really nice to get them to bring them along slowly and work on their games all fall and, get their feet wet that way.
So with that fall practice, I'm sure you probably got a little bit of your organized team practices and things. What did that look like as opposed to what it normally would?
So it was a little bit different. We tailor everything to where we're playing that certain weekend, tournament wise. So we didn't have that opportunity. We're not playing in tournaments. I know some of the guys did a couple of individual events that they entered. But for us, since we weren't representing the university, we still needed to compete. So we came up with a de facto tournament. I split up the guys and girls and we called it the COVID Cup. And we used that really through the majority of the fall to get both programs ready and still have that competitive nature in practice every day.
That's awesome. Really making the best of the position you're in for sure. So we're finally near that season start, long awaited. We'll jump back and forth a little bit, but we'll start with the men's side. So your starting five will have a different look this year as you lose Nick Brunsman, Ryan Zernikowski, and Chris Dirth, who've graduated for you. And a few of your young guys stepped up last year in Angelo Donato, Colin Frimmel, and Shane Murphy, guys like that. So what will your overall starting lineup look like this year?
It's going to be a little bit of a mixture. We are young, but I will say this, I've been part of this program since 2006, and this is hands down the best team that I've ever seen here at Capital. There's not a whole lot of experience per se, but having said that, these kids are all decorated golfers. We had a big time transfer come in this year with Andrew Simpson coming in from Columbus State. He's a guy that I recruited out of high school. I've known him for years, and he's just done an incredible job since he's been here. And really, has pushed everybody that's been here to just be better players and better teammates. And then we can't forget about the guys that we had on this team last year. There were certain guys that, because we got our season cut short, really didn't have that opportunity to break through in the spring, which really I thought they were a week, maybe 2 weeks away from even taking down some of those seniors that graduated last year. And, somebody like Vince Dare, Vince was really buzzing down on spring trip and he had a great round down there. And, to come back, I was really looking forward to see what he was going to do in qualifying. And, unfortunately, March 12th happened last year and we really didn't get that opportunity. But of the boys that are here, we had a big freshman class last year that are, moved into their second year and they're all sophomores now. And those guys have stepped up. And like I said, we had some transfers. We had another big freshman class that rolled in on the men's side. And I'm really excited about this team. Like I said, this is hands down the best team that Capital has had in a very long time. And it's just, it's going to take a lot of hard work that they've put in so far during the winter months. But right now we are really excited about the prospect of lifting an OAC championship come May.
That's fantastic. So of that big freshman class that you have, who are the guys that you think are going to see contribute pretty early on this season?
Where everybody's going to get the chance. That's the beauty of COVID and the way the tournaments are set up this year is that we got a pretty big roster here, but everybody's going to get the opportunity to play. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what somebody like Ben Satherwaite could do. I'm really looking forward to seeing what somebody like Adam Zernikowski, he's following in two of his older brother's footsteps here, and he's just been a joy. He works his tail off, and somebody like Ben, his work ethic is unmatched. Those two in particular, I would say, are somebody that you should definitely keep your eye on here moving forward. And but you really can't forget about the other two either. Jack Curtis is a local guy from New Albany, and he's just put in great work during these winter months. And we have another local guy in Tomas Duangsi, and Tommy is just he's been great. I love his work ethic. The kid's just got a great attitude about golf and life, and it's infectious. He definitely brightens up the room when he comes in.
So now we'll flip it to the women's side.
Yep.
This team looks pretty different as well. So Alyssa Greening, Carrie Hogan, and Sydney Kelly, who was arguably one of the best players you've ever had at your program, have since graduated, leaving some holes in your lineup for sure. So Molly Frey and Megan Mashari saw the most time last season, along with Reagan Johnson, who you mentioned earlier. So with your three new freshman additions, how is that starting five going to shape up?
Well, it's a little bit of a transitional year. I mean, Sid was somebody that was a cornerstone of in our lineup for 4 years. And then now we don't have that, and we don't have that solid number one. But having said that, Molly and what she has done in her time here at Capitol has been nothing short of amazing. She went from averaging in the high 90s, low hundreds her freshman year to, in my opinion, she's one of the five best players in the conference. So she's really taken that leadership role and running with it. She's put in a lot of hard work over the course of last summer, including this fall, and this is all while juggling trying to get into medical school in the middle of the pandemic. So when you see kids like that, it's infectious. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Molly can do. And then Meg, it's cliche, but Megan Mashari, she has gotten better every week since she's been here. She was somebody that came in, and as a freshman, she was thrown into a starting role. And Meg really didn't have the distance to compete at the college level. Now, Meg's arguably one of our longest players on our team. And so you see the hard work that she's put in, and she's really bought into any swing change that we've made here. It's awesome to see stuff like that. And I think the world of Meg. I think she's going to blossom here the rest of her junior year and well into her senior year and take on the leadership role that Meg's got right, or that Molly has right now. And I see a lot of similarities between the two. Reagan Johnson, just like Megan, she gets better daily. And I've been blown away by her. The distance has always been there with her. It's just been picking up little things, short game, irons, minor swing changes, and she's run with it. And I've, love those kids because they really, truly characterize what a Capitol athlete is. They grind, they get incredible grades. I mean, these are 4.0 students. And on top of it, they are very active. I mean, Megan's part of student government. Reagan is in her sorority, and she's very high up in that. And to me, that's what the Division III athlete should look like. And I'm very proud to coach them. And as they've gotten older here the past couple of years, it's nice to see them take on more of a leadership role and really mentor the three young freshmen that we have on our team right now. I think they've been incredible for these girls, and we're going to see them really blossom this year as well.
So those three freshmen, obviously they're going to see quite a bit of playing time. So have you seen anyone really kind of take hold as that top of that class, or are they all kind of battling for that number one spot of amongst themselves?
I don't want to single any one of them out just because they've all worked incredibly hard. I think Hannah Frey is somebody that's really I've seen the most improvement out of her and Rachel Rice. Those are two kids that they, again, just like somebody like Meg, they didn't have the distance, but COVID was a bit of a blessing in disguise where we really got to work on their game this fall. And I mean, Rachel picked up close to 20 yards on every club in the fall season. So as a coach, that's when that somebody really clicked for them. And I'm really excited what she can do in tournament play here starting in a few weeks. And Hannah she has a great attitude. She's an athletic kid. She's been in competitive cheerleading her whole life. And it's funny how that translates to golf. I've never had one like that. But I've had softball players, I've had basketball players, but now we have a cheerleader that's actually running with this, and it's good. It's great to see. She's made strides since she's been here, and where she came in, she lacked a little bit in terms of putting. Two quick changes at Heritage back in the fall, and she makes everything now, and it's almost second nature to her. So we're really excited to see what they can do, and you know, bringing them on slow. It's not. I will never say this is a rebuilding year, but this is a year that we're going to have to get experience on the fly, and we might take our lumps to start. But having said that, these guys and girls are gonna be ready to play. Um, you know, come next weekend.
Yeah, you say, it might take some lumps early on, but this spring is a longer one than what you normally have, adding a couple tournaments that might have otherwise happened in the fall. For your women's team and your men's team, how much of that is a plus that you have quite a bit of time to get that lineup set and get some of your younger players up to speed before you do compete in that conference tournament at the very end?
Ray, a lot of these kids, the only competitive golf that they know, especially on the women's side, was high school golf. And high school golf is a jam-packed season in the state of Ohio. That's a lot of tournaments in, a month and a half, 2 month time. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a learning curve, especially for the women's team. With the guys, I think we're going to have to, put a big emphasis on rest. They're going to be playing, 54 holes of competitive golf back to back to back with a lot of travel because of the restrictions that are in place. That stuff gets tiring. So, this is all kind of it's a learning curve for me. This is just, uncharted waters for us. So, we're going to do the best we can and represent the university the best way we know how. And in my opinion, at the end of the year, it's going to be the teams that do the right things and the teams that, get the right rest throughout the course of the season that are going to be fresh and ready to go. As a coach, I've never put too much stock in what we do early on in the season. I always say, let's just get better every week. And it couldn't be more true for what we're doing now. As long as we stay healthy, we don't catch that big C word that everybody's, it's been circulating out there. We're going to be okay. And it's just going to be a little bit of a different feel. And, like I said, you got to put a lot of emphasis on rest and recovery. And, this game can really beat you down mentally. It's mentally draining and exhausting. And we just got to make sure we don't overdo it.
So last question I got for you.
Yeah.
What's the feeling around the team right now? The first tournament's only about a week away. For many of them, it's their first collegiate tournament. How are they feeling? How are you feeling? What's it like?
I'm pumped, man. I mean, we haven't played a tournament in, over a year now. And that's crazy to even say that out loud. And for us, this is something that I think we're really looking forward to. We've gone through it worse than, we've had it worse than a lot of other programs. We had a season last year where everything was starting to fall into place, cut short because of a global pandemic. I think that we're excited. I think the room is, really pumped up to play. We have a 60-degree day here in Central Ohio right now, and we are just itching to get outside. And to be honest with you, it's we are really looking forward to playing, but more importantly, it's more of the brotherhood and the sisterhood that we're really looking forward. Those long rides in the vans coming to and from tournaments, those nights on the road. I think that's what everybody's really missing the most. I mean, all of these kids are friends and they're all very close and they all live together. But the one thing that they've been missing in their life has been tournament golf with each other. So for us, I can't wait to get it back on. And, I'm really excited to see what both of these teams can do. Think the world of both of them. We have just fantastic kids here. And I think we're going to not say shock because it might be shock to everybody else what we do. But, for us, it's the expectation now. And we have a plan to win 2 OAC championships in this room right now. And that goal will never change.
Well, we very much look forward to how this season's going to shape up for you guys too. So I appreciate you sitting down with me today, Coach. And we look forward to March 20th when you open your season to the Pioneer Classic.
Awesome, Ray. I really appreciate everything that you do for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.